If you have ever wanted to start digital scrapbooking, but felt like you didn't have the technological know-how or the time or the money, you are in the right place because I'm going to show you how you can quickly get started scrapbooking with Canva for free. And stay tuned at the end of the video. I'm going to give you a special bonus that will make it even easier for you to enter into this incredible hobby through digital scrapbooking. So welcome to the Creativity Playground. I am Amy Yulin, and my goal is to help you learn how to improve your overall well-being by engaging in creative play through paper crafting. So let's play. Okay, my first question for you is this. If you're new to my channel, please put new in the comments so that I can welcome you. If you are new or returning, please let me know, have you ever made a digital scrapbook page or photo book? If so, what software or website did you use? Like, have you used Canva before? I'm super curious. While I wait to hear from you, let's jump into Canva and why it is a perfect solution for our digital scrapbooking needs. It is super easy to use. So if you've ever tried maybe Photoshop, Elements, or even full-fledged Photoshop before and found that frustrating because it's a big learning curve, know that Canva is much simpler than that, and I'm going to demo that to you today. It also contains, even the free version contains thousands of assets that we can use for our telling our digital stories. Plus, it is free to use. The only time you would ever need to pay for anything is if you wanted to use a pro feature on one of your layouts. But I'm going to show you some options around that too. So let's jump into Canva, and we are going to create a quick template. So let's go ahead. This is the layout that we are going to create, the template that we are going to create. So I'd be really curious to know from you, what size of layout do you typically like to make? I typically, when I'm paper scrapbooking, I will make a double page 12 by 12 layout. But I've got a ton of 6 by 8 albums. And so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to create a 6 by 8 page. And let's start by clicking on the main layout or canvas. And you'll notice in the upper left-hand corner, there is a color, like a little rainbow of colors, and if you hover over that, it says background color. And we're just going to, for right now, let's just choose a gray color, knowing that when you make your layout, it is going to be whatever color you want to help match your photos. Let me ask you this. Where do you fall on the continuum of photos? Are you a single picture scrapbooker, or do you like to add as many photos per page as possible? I tend to just base it on what like story I'm trying to tell. So what we're going to do today in this, because this is a small canvas, so we're just going to use 3 photos. So we're going to click on the left on Elements. And I was on Shapes previously, so I'm going to go click off of that, and I'm going to scroll down Elements until I get to Grids. Now, these are your photo wells. So if you just click on one grid, it automatically places it in the background. So I'm just going to right click on that, and actually I think I don't need to right click. I can just resize. So the way that you're going to resize, you've got a couple options. You can grab the corner and resize. You can grab the top or bottom or sides to resize. And I'm going to click on, with the picture selected, I'm going to click on position, and you'll notice under advanced it gives you the opportunity to enter in the exact size that you want. So for my width, I'm going to do a 2.5 and my height is going to be 3 inches. And here's the cool thing. So I have my X and Y values, so I can choose exactly where I want this photo on the layout, and I just want it 1 inch down. So my Y is going to be 1 inch, my X is going to be 0. So now we're going to do the exact same thing. So we can just using our keyboard, I had the image selected. So I just hit Control D on my keyboard. It would be Command D if you're on a Mac. And again, I want to select the size of this image, and it is going to be 3.5 by 3, and it's aligned. I mean, it automatically snapped where I wanted it, but let's say that it, oops, let's go back to position. Let's say that it didn't. Our X value would be 2.5 because that's how wide our first photo was, and our Y value would also be a 1 to keep it aligned with our other photo. So now we use the grid, so those are going to be rectangular photos, but you'll notice that there are also a lot of frames. So there are different sized photos, which are very fun. So I'm going to click on the circle and just drag the circle out, and again hit position, and I want my circle to be 2.5. And you'll notice that it is where it says ratio, there's a lock symbol because it's a circle. So it's going to be the same width and height. And then I know from playing around with this previously that my X value is going to be 0.45. And my Y value is going to be 3.24. This kind of overlap is going to be dependent on the picture that you put in this photo well that's behind it. But now let's go ahead and create some mats, because we want these photos to kind of pop off the background a little bit. So again, I'm going back to elements, and this time I'm choosing shapes, and I'm going to choose the square, and this time I want it to be a white background. So with that square selected, I'm going to come up to the toolbar at the top and choose color, and then select white. And this square is going to go behind my photos. So I want it to be, again, we're going to just say position. We could drag this around and try to figure it out, but it's so much easier, especially if we know specifically where it's going, to use our advanced width and height. So in this case, it's going to be as wide as the page, and it is going to fit behind these photos. And so since my photo height is 3 inches, I'm going to do this at 3.25. 2. And then my X and Y value, again, will be 0, but my Y value is going to be 0.89. Okay, so I'm going to do 0.89. Oops, not 89. That would not work well. 0.89. And then we want to send it to the back. So notice up here at the top it has arrange, backward, and to back. So I'm going to go to back because I want it behind everything. So now we're going to do the exact same thing with the circle. So again, back in shapes, we're going to pull out a circle. This time I am going to, I think for right now, I'm going to leave this color the default purple that it came out, and we'll change that later. But because our circle was 2.5, we're going to go back to position, and we're going to do 2.6. Oh, and I should have locked it, but since I didn't, I'll just type in 2.6 again and lock the ratio. So that's kind of nice because we can change the width and height separately, or if we click lock ratio, then we can change one and both of them will change. Now, this time I'm going to just sort of eyeball it behind the first circle and send it backward because I just want it around that circle. And I'm going to hold down my shift key. So now both of them are selected. And when position is selected, I have center. So now when I center it, and I will click off of that again, when I center it, now that mat is right behind the circle. I can select both of them just by clicking my mouse and then group it together. And now I can move these around wherever I want. Now that we have our photos, we just need a place to create a title and a journaling block. So while I'm showing you how to do that, I would like in the chat for you to think about a recent, a few recent photos that you took, maybe an event that you attended, or just some photos. Like look through your phone and choose 3 photos, 3 related photos, and what are they about? What story do you want to tell with those photos? So go ahead and drop that in the chat while I finish up our template. All right, so the next step is we are going to want a title. And so I'm going back to elements and my shapes, and you'll notice next to the square with straight edges, there's a square with rounded edges. So I'm going to click on that square with rounded edges, and this time again I can drag it out to be as wide and narrow as I like, and this will really be dependent on how large your title is and kind of how much space you want it to overlap this photo. So we don't have to be too precise here because we're going to change this eventually anyway. This is just a placeholder. So now let's add some text to it. So we're going to click on text. Oh, good. And while we're clicking on text and adding a heading, I see that Adam is going to make a layout about his vacation in Mexico City. That's exciting. I cannot wait to see your photos. When we add a heading, again, we can just click on this little crosshair arrows, and that's going to allow you to kind of move your text box wherever you want it on your layout. And I'm going to, because it's already highlighted, I'm just going to type title. And then I'm going to hold down Shift and my arrow keys to highlight that title, or I could have just double clicked. I want to turn the font white. So I'm going to click on the text color and select white. I'm leaving it, my font defaulted to Anton because that's part of my my brand colors, and that's why this little purple popped up too, because that's part of my brand colors and font. You can choose whatever font you like. Again, we're potentially going to change it when we use this template anyway, so it doesn't matter. All right, so that is our title. Now back on Elements, and I'm going to deselect that. Oh, let me just show you real quickly. Right now, this is, it looks pretty centered, but let's pretend it wasn't. We would select both, and the way I did that was when I was off of, I had clicked onto the background. I just click and drag ever so slightly until I see purple boxes around both of my elements. And that means they're both selected. And then I can click on Position. And if they were not centered, I could hit Center and Middle, and then they would be aligned. Now, the last thing that we have to do is just add a journaling block, and then we're done. So again, I'm going to go to Shapes and See All. And I am going to choose this banner. So when you scroll down, it like looks, I don't even know how you would describe it, but it's got a little triangle cut out of either end. So I'm just going to click on that. And let's turn this white. Okay. Now here's where you start thinking outside the box, because I don't want my banner to be this way. I want to rotate it. So I'm going to click on the little rotate button, rotate it to 90 degrees, and then I can actually put this underneath everything else. So I'm going to send it to the back, but let's make it a little bit bigger first. Okay, so now I'm going to go Position to Back, and now it's behind everything. So you don't see the other banner on the other end. And that is our layout, but we do need to add a placeholder for the text. So let's click on Text again, and this time we're going to add a little bit of body text, and then when we move it down, and we can adjust our little body text to I'm just going to copy this text, so Control C or Command C. I think I say that like I really even know a Mac. So how many of you are on a PC or a Mac? Let me know. I would be super curious to know. So now I'm going to just paste that. Oops. So I'm going to Control V. Oops, I am going to Control Z, Control V, Enter. Okay, I probably don't want to keep doing it that way. That is inefficient, but let me just make this a little bit more narrow, and then we'll just add in our text once we know what our layout is. We are done with our template. So now what I would do is I would come up to your page title and just put in 6x8 3 photo template, and that way you know exactly what it is. So now when you want to use this template, all you have to do is make a copy of it. And the way you can duplicate it is up at the top. You've got duplicate page. So you just click on that. Now we've got a copy of this page, and I am going to rename this to whatever my layout is going to be. So in this case, I'm doing a layout about Mae Jemison. Oh, Jemison. Okay, yeah. Gotta make sure I spell it right. Okay, I'm going to show you kind of how I keep myself organized. Now, in the free version of Canva, you only get 3 folders. So the pro version is much better for staying organized. And I just realized I'm on my pro account right now. But this can be done on either the free or the pro account. But I always create a folder called Current Project. And then I just take whatever I'm working on and I put that, like all my images that I want to use, in the current project, because then it just makes it super easy to drop in my photos. Now I just need to rearrange them. So I'm double clicking on this photo, and I just want to make this bigger because I want people to be able to see that I am reading a book to the littles. Okay, so I'm just double clicking and then dragging out so that I can resize the image, and then I'm just moving it up and down until I get it where I want it. Now in this photo, her head is cut off, and I definitely don't want that. So I'm going to lower that down, and then I also don't want her to be overlapped by the title. So I'm just kind of making her a little more centered in the layout. Okay, and then I can drop in this background image, and I'm just right clicking on it, and I'm going to choose replace background. Now that's super like dark, and I don't think it looks horrible, but I'm going to click on it and come up to transparency and just kind of bump down the transparency to, let's say, 80. And that way it's a little less like in your face, and the photos pop a little bit better. Okay. I also, with this photo frame, now the purple, even though I have purple in it, it's not quite the right purple. So I'm going to choose, actually I'm going to go to position, layers, to make sure I have the right layer, which I did not. Okay. Interesting. Oh, it's because this is still grouped. So I'm ungrouping, and now I'm selecting the circle layer. And when I click on color now, because I added some photos, here are photo colors. So I'm going to choose this like really dark purple for both my matte and for my title block. Okay, and so now those really pop. And then I can add in some embellishments. So I'm going to click on this in this story, Mae Among the Stars. She likes to look at the stars, and she talks to her mom about wanting to view Earth from the sky, from space. And so now I've got these little embellishments for my layout. But again, I want them to pop a little bit better. So I'm going to go to Edit Photo, choose Shadow, and Drop Shadow. And then I'm going to come down to the telescope and also do a drop shadow. Made it a little bit smaller, so I'm going to just move it down ever so slightly. And then the next step would be to add the title and some journaling. So let me show you the completed version with my title and my journaling. And I love this. Like, I love reading this story to little kids because in the story, May's mom always tells her, if you can dream it and you can believe it and you can work for it, anything is possible. So then I'll have the little kids like do a call and response to that. So I love it. It's adorable. Adorable. So that, my friends, is how you can use Canva to quickly create a layout. This is something that you can do if you have wanted to scrapbook, get into this hobby. If you have pictures on your phone and you want to share them with your friends and family, if you can dream it and you can believe it and you work for it, anything is possible. Okay, so here's your bonus. I'm going to share this template with you. So after we're done here, in the description on this video, I'm going to put a link to this Canva file so that you can just jump right in and start creating with your own photos. The last thing I want to share with you is that I invite you to join me at the Creative Spark Summit, where I'm going to show you how you can make digital cards using Canva. So the way that you get to the Spark Summit, let me go back to my screen share, is you're going to type in amyulan.com/go/spark. Again, I will have that in the description for you for this video. And then you can just learn all about the Creative Spark Summit and how it is designed to help you engage in creative play. And I'm going to show you really quickly. Yours truly. There I am. No stress holiday cards with Canva. Okay, so again, thank you so much for joining me today. And when you create your layouts and you post them, please make sure that you tag me on Instagram at the Creativity Playground, or come to the Creativity Playground Clubhouse and our private group and post it there. I cannot wait to see what you create. Until next time, remember to make time for creative play, because your mental health matters. Bye.